Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I have a special guest with me today. This is my mom, Valerie. She's here visiting from Colorado. I've mentioned that in a couple videos now. So we are out doing some antiquing. I just took her to my favorite antique shop where she was shocked to see that I was in the store for 2 minutes and found things that were going home with me. So I don't mess around when I go in there. We're gonna head out to find some other shops, and then at the end we'll show you what we got, and if I can, I'll try to style it. So let's go antiquing. Okay, my friends, it is the next day. It was a little bit hot inside of the antique store, so I really didn't get a ton of footage, but honestly, they're ones I've taken you through before. We went to my absolute favorite one and found some good finds, and I'm gonna share them with you now, and then I'm gonna show you how I style them throughout my house. So sometimes antiquing can feel really overwhelming. I've talked about this in previous videos. Some of the stores that you walk into have cases on top of cases. There was one that my mom and I went to yesterday where you walk in and it was just giant, 8-foot tall, you know, clear, lit shelves full of jewelry and just tons of stuff, and that can be very overwhelming. And I almost feel like saying something to the store owners like, you know, this is distracting and takes away from the fun of the experience. But I understand there's a lot of people out there that thoroughly enjoy that type of antiquing. In fact, my husband and my boys would love to go and just look at all of the, you know, historical artifacts, and with no intention of buying anything, which I think is the point. You know, they're not looking to buy something and to see it in their own home. They just like to look at it and think about the history of it. So sometimes it can feel overwhelming when you walk into these stores. However, there's, like I've mentioned before, there are always staples that I'm looking for, and when I see them, I know immediately. And one of those was this picture that I picked up, and I instantly fell in love with the stripes. I loved the color. It's neutral, warm, and it reminds me of that last one I just purchased at the antique store up in upstate New York when we just recently went. This is that picture that I picked up before, and they're very, very similar. They almost could be from the same maker, but I really don't know. There's no like name on the bottom or anything, but I think I paid $12 for this. I'm trying to remember because nothing has tags on it anymore. When you purchase something at the antique store, they take the tag off. So that's how the vendor gets paid. But it's a great little picture, and I just think that I can put pretty much anything in here, some florals or some greenery, and it will look beautiful. I think it would look pretty in my hutch back there, but I also think it would look gorgeous over in my coffee bar. So I don't know exactly where this is gonna go yet, but we will style it and find a sweet place for it. These pictures are great because you can use them for anything. You can use them as an actual picture. I have an antique picture that I use. It's actually not an antique. I've purchased it from Michael's, but it looks antique, and I use that to fill my coffee pot every day, or to fill my animal bowl, like their water bowl. You know, so you could use it as an actual picture, but I think that they make really beautiful flower vases or greenery vases. or even just standing alone on their own on the shelf. These can, you know, stand alone. They're so very beautiful, and I just love the striping so much. Another item I got at that same antique store is this little croc. This one I thought was really beautiful because it has really great like distressing all around it. It looks really beat up. I'm sorry for the glare and like the shadows today. As usual, as I've said in almost all of my videos recently, it is raining, and I try very hard to film on rainy days so that we're not, you know, wasting the good days. So yesterday was pretty, we went out and did things. Today it's gloomy and gross, and so I'm gonna stay in and film, but it doesn't lend itself to the best lighting. But anyway, this little croc I thought was so very cute. I think it was $20, and these are perfect to use for a million different things. In every season, you can use them in your kitchen for utensils or for displaying antique pieces that you've purchased, like wooden spoons or old rolling pins. Those are always really beautiful. You can also use them just on their own. That's really pretty. I prefer to use them with some kind of floral or plant inside. I think it's a great way to display a plant or flowers in a very like primitive way that looks really nice and adds some, you know, interest to your home. And as I've mentioned a million times on this channel, I'm always going for a very warm and cozy vibe in the house. And the best way to get that is with used items, antique items, items that bring in character. And I'm always looking for ways to do that. So Crocs are the way to go. And in the fall and winter and Christmas, you can use them to have fall, you know, twigs and branches that you might pick up outside, or little Christmas trees that you have on display throughout your home, pine trees on your porch. They just look really, really great. I did also get a second croc. This one's a little bit bigger and did come with a lid, although I probably will never use the lid. But here is what this one looks like. Really, really pretty. And again, it's got a ton of distressing to it and doesn't say at all, you know, where it comes from on the bottom, and that's okay. But this one is nice and big, and I think this one would be great for the kitchen, like I said, with those rolling pins or some antique wooden spoons, things like that. You can have a little towel hanging out the side to add a little bit of interest to it, but these you cannot go wrong. So I feel like I'm starting quite the collection. I think this is number 4 for me. I really don't have that many, but I want all of them. There is a house down the street from me on the way to the lake where we have the boat docked, and she has really large Crocs, 2 very large Crocs on her front porch, and she has beautiful hydrangea in them, and they're gorgeous, and I would love to do that one day. The big giant Crocs are $100 plus, so it's definitely something I have to go in knowing that's the one and only thing I'm buying because when I'm antique shopping, I like to be getting a deal. I think this one was somewhere around 22, but if they're, you know, if I'm going in for something that's $100, that has to be the only thing I'm purchasing because I can't justify you know, spending more than that. So love the Crocs, always look for these. They're in every antique store I've ever been to. You can even check thrift stores, and they're such a great find. This next item I picked up, I don't think is an antique. I think somebody made it and it was just at the antique store. And that is this beautiful cake pedestal. It is wooden and it looks nice and distressed, so very pretty. And it's got these great pedestals on the bottom. And then it does have the glass top. Now it doesn't have any kind of rim, so the glass top is just kind of hanging there, so you gotta be extra careful. So I'm trying to be real careful when I'm holding this, but I think this is absolutely stunning. I think it would look gorgeous with my brick backsplash. I have my one from IKEA that I absolutely love with the scalloped edges and the flower detail on the bottom, but this is just so rustic and pretty, and I just wanna put some homemade muffins in here. I just think they would look so pretty. So loved this piece. I think this was 20. And like I said, I don't think it's antique whatsoever. It clearly is, you know, the glass is not antique, but absolutely beautiful. And this is gonna look gorgeous anywhere I put it. I thought about putting it on my coffee bar. Come the holidays, this will look great, you know, with the Thanksgiving spread with a pie on it or miniature pies. I made those hand pies last year. Those will look beautiful on here, a little piece of parchment underneath. So really looking forward to using this all year long. Before I show you the last piece and probably my favorite antique I've ever picked up, I want to show you a couple of things my mom picked up. So one is she found this adorable picture. I absolutely love the colors, so very pretty. It's got this gorgeous blue like marbling to it. It was made in Ohio. It doesn't say, Robinson maybe? Robinson something bottom. 1 pint pitcher, but so very cute. Again, you can put florals in this or just leave it on its own. It's got such great color. My mom has a lot of blues and grays in her home, so this will look really, really pretty. And I think some white florals in there would look really stunning, but it's really gorgeous. The other thing she found, which is really, really pretty, is this burlap runner, table runner, and it's got the pretty ticking stripe down the middle. Again, it's like a little bit of a gray blue. It's really long, so that's nice. It will fit, you know, a table nicely with a runner. It's nice to have it kind of drape across the end, kind of giving it like a real careless feel, but this is really, really pretty, and this will look beautiful on her table. Okay, so the last item that I picked up, like I said, I think is my absolute favorite antique I've ever picked up. I knew from the second I saw it that I had to have it. I imagined myself serving, you know, Sunday dinner in it and having it on display with fruits and vegetables. I just loved it. And it kind of goes along with that picture that I showed you that my mom picked up, and it is this gorgeous serving dish. Look at this, guys. It has that gorgeous marbling and it is huge. I envisioned like a big pasta dish in here. I absolutely love it. It says it's a pasta bowl from Roseville, Ohio. I have no idea when it was made, but I would take 17 more of these. It's shallow, so it's really pretty. Whatever you put in it is going to be on display, which I love. A lot of bowls will be very deep, which are great for serving, but they're not great for having, you know, something on display. And this, because it's so shallow, wherever I put it, you'll see it. So I thought, when I first saw it, I instantly imagined, like I said, serving dinner in it, making some delicious pasta meal and putting it in here. And I also thought this would be really beautiful with some artichokes. That would be gorgeous. It will also look gorgeous, you know, with fruit in it. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to style this yet. I do think it's going to live in my coffee bar area. I had set it over there yesterday just to kind of pile them up to show you today, and I was like, it's just so pretty with the shiplap in the back, and it's just stunning, and the color is everything. And like I said, it's big, it's shallow, it's perfect for serving food, but it's also wonderful for having food on display. So can't wait to style this in my home and use it throughout the seasons. It is perfect. And I would love to find more pieces from this line because I think they are stunning. And my favorite find, I think I paid $22 for this bowl. I'm trying to remember. I think I paid $22. It definitely was very, very affordable. I was beside myself when I saw it in the price. So favorite antique find ever. I thought it was gonna be that chair. Remember, guys, a couple of antique videos ago, I found that little chair that now lives in my family room and holds a plant. I don't know, this just beats it. It's just so pretty and gives off such a cozy vibe that I love it. Okay, my friends, that brings us to the end of another video. I hope that you enjoyed coming antiquing with me. I hope you guys like the antique videos. It is my favorite thing to do here in New England. I feel like antiquing on this side of the country is so different than antiquing anywhere else I've ever been. I've talked about that before. And number one, they're just everywhere. The antique stores are everywhere. Number two, this side of the country is just so much older than the West Coast that you actually find some really beautiful primitive pieces, and I love them and I love to style them. So I hope that you enjoy these videos as well, and it gives you a little bit of insight on what to look for when you go shopping. Until the next one, my friends, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you very soon.